No, like the Foley joke about no sun.
Yeah.
The sun went down.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 3 of a 4-part program that we're having tonight. We're with our honored guest, Ms. Cheryl Mora James. Cheryl, when we left off, we were kind of talking about the party, this new party, this new concept, and what's going on. How's it taking? How are people within the United States reacting to it? Are you getting positive feedback? Are you like? I note that on the Facebook, Didi Blake, she goes here, she goes there. She's getting people out to vote, you know, and she's keeps us really up to date on the races and how we're doing and stuff. Could you tell me what kind of an impact you're having nationally?
Nationally, we have our fingers in a lot of different places. Right now, Dee Dee's preparing to go down to El Paso, Texas. It's Let's Cruise to the Polls project. It is an outreach towards the older Chicanos and Chicanas, tapping into the old Mexican-American civil rights leaders, bringing back that fire that they had, and spreading that to the younger groups of Chicanos and Chicanas. Keep in mind that of all the Hispanics here in the United States, Mexican Americans count for 69% of that population. We are inclusive, but we are clearly Mexican, Chicanas led. In addition to that, we have been assisting the Kansas Tequila Party and the wonderful things that are developing there. Chris Kobach, the Secretary of State, looks like he may in fact lose his position. He's been using his position to suppress voters in Kansas. In addition to that, they have been very active in promoting the independent candidate for Senate in Kansas. And Chris Kobach, his buddy, the governor, looks like he may in fact lose his position too. So it's the chickens have come home to roost in Kansas. Their economic policies, I think, have really left a bad taste in Kansas's mouth. We have a Republican who's now a Democrat that is challenging Chris Kobach, and he's got a fight on his hands. Now, in Texas, we support soon-to-be Governor Davis and her inclusion of Latinos, Mexicans, and Chicanos that are from Texas. Her running mate is a Latina. We're very proud of that. In addition to that, as I was saying, that Didi Garcia Blaze, the co-founder and co-president of Somos Independents, will be registering voters in El Paso this next week, along with our fellow members, Al Moses, who is an artist, a Latino artist from Arizona. He has joined in. He is absolutely a fantastic artist. I had the opportunity to meet him in Santa Fe, New Mexico last year. In addition to that, we have a brother in Los Angeles, California. He's also an immigration and criminal attorney. He has been keeping California informed of us and keeping us informed of who we need to promote in California. That's just a few things that we're doing on a national basis.
Well, how about, can you name the different states that you're located in now in terms of having people and recognized by the state as like LULAC or the American GI Forum? You now have Somos Independence. So are you 100%? 50 states, 20 states? What are you?
I think we're probably about 38 states right now.
Ooh,
We're still working on
That's
it.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
We have New York, we have North Carolina, we have Florida, we have someone in Georgia, we have Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, Montana, Kansas, Colorado.
You almost got them all. That's pretty good.
Kansas, did I say Kansas?
Yeah, Colorado.
Ohio, Illinois.
Michigan?
Minnesota. I can't remember. Dee Dee knows. Dee Dee.
Well, I have tons of relatives in Michigan.
Well, we need to hook
Tons
up.
of
We need to
relatives.
hook them up. We need to hook them
Yeah,
up.
and I mean tonnage.
We need a leader in Michigan. So
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, that just sounds, you know, like I said, it's fantastic, but it's also, it's part of that transition. It's just a natural thing that's happening as the United States transitions. And one of the most important components, of course, is the political arena and the fact that we have to hold our politicians accountable. And I'm with you. I just don't see where any one of the parties have the moxie. They don't have what it takes to come out and say diversity, you know, and say we got to have multiculturalism and stuff like that. They just won't say it, whether it be on the Democrat side. So they're always tentative, because historically the wedge issue has worked for them. But all of that should change now, because I don't. The one thing that I remember being involved with the Exxon administration and with Senator Zirinsky back in the 70s. The one thing that we did was we could never get enough votes to win an election outright. But man, we sure made the difference. We sure made the difference, because Zirinsky, he won by like 1,500 votes or something, and we delivered. We know we delivered the 1,500 votes, and he was so forever grateful. Exxon, I think he only won one race like 400 or 500 votes. And so now that you have, like you said, so many, the giant is there sleeping, and if you poke that giant, you wake that giant, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they're going to get up and vote. They're going to be something to be paid attention to. And I'm so glad that we now have a party, Somos Independence, that we can look towards, you know, to do something in this state. Now, are you planning anything like a state conference, or I know you have your monthly meetings, but are you recruiting across the state?
Yeah, currently, yeah, we absolutely. We will recruit wherever we have to go. A lot of our recruitment is one-on-one. And we're not a party, a political party. We are an organization.
Talk more about that.
We're not a nonprofit either. We're an independent organization, so that we can go out educate individuals about issues, about candidates, and encourage them to vote for the candidate that will vote for us. And clearly here in Nebraska, a lot of folks think that we don't have to worry, they don't go out to vote. Well, guess what? We're getting out people to register. And you might not see it this time, but I guarantee you, you're going to see it in 2016. It was the Hispanics that helped Obama win. We were the determining factor, and it will be the Hispanics, Latinos, Chicanos, Chicanas, I don't care what you call us. We will be the determining factor in every election nationally from now on. And as soon as we can organize people in each state, we will be the determining factor. Sheer numbers. That's the reality.
No, you said you were going out to work for Sotelo. Now, what does he represent to you, just as an individual? Sotelo is a young Chicano out there from Lexington, Nebraska, who's running for state senator out of that district. And I've read his resume, I've talked to him on the phone, and he's a very impressive young man. And so you're taking yourself and your, I assume your organization, with you to Lexington. And how does he fit into your own overall mission statement?
He is an educator. He's concerned about our children, all of our children. He has a wonderful story himself. He's an immigrant. His family came from Chihuahua, Mexico, and benefited from the Reagan immigration reform as a U.S. citizen now. And he is our future. That's the reality of it. He's young, he's vibrant, he's educated, and he's smart. And he needs financial support. And he doesn't need that much. I would encourage anyone from any place here in Nebraska or elsewhere to contact him. Donate, whether it's 20 or 100. He is in need of finances.
That's the kicker. That's the kicker. We're going to talk about that when we come back. How time flies, huh, Cheryl?
It is.
We'll be back in a few seconds, so don't go away.
I have got to watch that timer.
You're clear.
Okay, I just want 10 minutes because I want to put on a little. Do you guys have any kind of promotional video or anything that you have for Somos Independence? Does Dee have anything?
I'm sure she does. I'd have to ask her.
Okay, because I can tag it. I can tag it and put it on. If it's on YouTube, I can get it and put it on as part of this. So just give me 10 minutes.
That's all you'll have is time.
Okay. Now, this time, you ended up on a real good transition into Nebraska, because I know that the party or the organization has decided and made a determination that they're going to support Hasselbeck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now.
And Domina.
And Domina.
Yep.
And say that why you're supporting them. In other words, they fit within your concept, your mission statement, and they've been brave enough to bring this issue, which has to be dealt with. We cannot look the other way anymore on this immigration issue.
Well,
Okay?
we need them. We
Okay,
need
stop.
them.
Don't
Okay.
proceed.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Are you about ready, Mom?
Yes, anytime, go ahead.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth and last segment of today's program. You know, we split it up into 2 half-hour segments. We go out live and we do a whole hour session with some public service announcements in between. But then we also put this program in half-hour segments on channel 22, cable channel 22, which is KPAO, on Latino Chicano Perspectives, and that comes on every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. So it goes out here. Plus, we also put it on YouTube soon after this airing, so we put it in our archive so that you can also see it. So this gives us two 14-minute segments cut, and then two more 14. And so now, Shirley, thank you. We're going into our last segment here,
Okay.
and I know you gave a very nice talk about the power of that's going to come with our voting, and it'll be here today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever. But the national Somos Independence, along with yourself as being one of the co-founders, and I assume Tony Leja, that part of your overall and the value is the fact that you can actually, like the Chamber of Commerce, say, we're voting for this person because of these reasons. And
correct.
you don't have any chains, you're not a 501c3 and all that. So now, have you done that in Nebraska?
Yes, we have. We have reviewed the candidates for Senate and determined that clearly, Dominic is the one for us.
Domino.
And have been assisting them in Lincoln, in the Latino community. One of our other members, Sean James, will be canvassing with them in regards to Hispanic communities.
Now, why is it that what was it that Domina, as opposed to Sassy or these other candidates, that made you arrive at that conclusion?
Well, first of all, Domina is his own man, and that's real important to us. We do not support any or endorse any candidate that does the bidding of the super rich. Domina is absolutely on top of the issues, knows what's going on nationally and internationally, and he believes in keeping families together. That's good enough for us.
And you also, have you made a choice on the gubernatorial candidacies?
Oh, yes, clearly. Have you had an opportunity to see Ricketts' poor excuse for why you should vote for me?
I've seen some of them, but
Oh my God. The immigrants are going to get us. I couldn't believe it.
they're coming.
They're coming, and they're coming for you. Watch out. Because, of course we're a border state, so we really have to worry about that.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's so classical that we're one of the reddest of the red states. But we're so close to becoming a purple state.
Scares them.
It scares them. And so, like you've stated and I've stated before, that xenophobia and nativism is one of the problems that you have when you believe that that this is your country and that all other people are foreign and you should like Kobash, you should be wary of them, otherwise they're going to take over your country. That is the most racist. That is the most patronizing, idiotic statement that I've ever heard anybody use in the face of our Constitution, in the face of our immigrant nation. But it works. It works for people in Nebraska who are xenophobics and nativism and who eat that stuff up.
Yeah,
they eat it up.
They're a dying breed. I mean, that's the reality. If you talk to the young, white, college-educated students, the majority of them from small towns in Nebraska, don't believe that. However, you know, we had a governor who used the beating horse, whipping horse, immigrants as his whipping horse, and beat Osborne, believe it or not. That is only going to be, people are tired of that. People are tired of the just decisiveness, the hate, the wedge issues.
It's so critical, Cheryl, because in the face of the reality, which is that we have a burgeoning South Omaha community. We have 100,000 quote-unquote Latinos. It's exploding economically. I know there's still, you know, abuse and disenfranchisement, but as the generations continue forward and assimilation, you know, in the face of all of that, we still have people that wonder why there's 200,000 Latinos or Chicanos in the state of Nebraska, and the reason it makes them so powerful is the fact that so many registered voters who are eligible to vote don't vote, and you have this much of a percentage of the actual voters determine the future and who gets to make the policies in Congress. And so I'm saying that your strategy to get people out to vote, irrespective of their background, based on something that's honest philosophy, something where you care about people, you care about our state, is renaissance. It's wonderful. And I think you're right. I think that the majority of the state doesn't reflect the Tea Party minority.
Right.
But as long as we keep letting them beat our heads at the poll, it's going to happen. So that's why you're just a breath of fresh air.
The reality is, we are the solution to our own problem. And the way to resolve that problem, solve the problem, is to get registered to vote. If you're registered to vote, then get out there, find out what issues each candidate is writing on, and if those issues are beneficial for your family. Now, clearly, Hasselbrook is a friend of the Latino, and Ricketts is the friend of the billionaires. He voted to get tax cuts, or lobbied to get tax cuts for the rich and himself and his own companies, but yet wants to put more taxes on the middle class. Wait a minute. I have yet to see anything on any of his ads that really explain who he is and what he's about. He does not reflect Nebraska values. Hasselbrook reflects Nebraskan values.
And you're going to be out in Lexington when?
Tuesday.
This next Tuesday?
Yes, for a rally for that young man
Okay.
That's running for legislature out of Lexington. I hope everybody that can vote goes out there in Lexington, and let's show them who we are.
And Tuesday would be the...
Oh, that's a good question.
We're going to go over a little
The 23rd.
The
September
23rd.
23rd,
Okay.
we're going to be out there.
Well, Cheryl, thank you so much. Let me get this little plug in here. We're going to have a fundraiser for a person who's suffering from cancer, and it's going to be a benefit of Our Lady of Guadalupe in November the 8th, and yours truly, Reynaldi Cervantes, is going to be one of the performers. And that's enough to get you out there. But Shirley, thank you so much for coming and making that long trek and sharing with us your wonderful wisdom and the great things that they're doing on the state level.
Thank you. And everybody, get out there, vote, show them who we are.
Hasta la vista, baby. Adios.